Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you? I'm just setting myself up. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I thought you are not coming, but if you
Yeah,
come,
no, I was absent yesterday.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Go ahead. Then you can do your own analysis.
yeah. Well, you're more welcome. Absolutely welcome to join in. Share what you have to, what your ideas are.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on taking many trades today, especially not in the top step combine that I'm looking at. Just it's too volatile for me right now. So,
Yeah.
and I'm green on the week. Actually, echoing a little bit of what Avi said earlier. Be careful. Days like today, this was supposed to be a deadline with Iran. Then yesterday, Trump announced something just after the market closed that spiked everything, and then it gave everything all back right away. So, very difficult market to trade right now. So it's okay to sit out and be patient.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you seeing?
I'm just seeing the support and resistance on higher time frame.
On what? Sorry.
On higher time frame.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So basically, NQ about to retest December and January high. So I think we are likely going to see the bounce 25 480 and 25 360. So
Yeah. So I've got it on the screen here. So you're saying 25 here. Let me go to the higher time frame here. Um, there you go. So do you have a level in this area here?
e-
So this area over here.
25 570 and 25 450 basically.
25, 570.
By the way, I'm checking NQ chart, not MNQ. So both have a different
Oh,
price.
okay. Yeah. They're yeah. So around this area on MNQ, uh, NQ. There you go.
So if we switch towards the monthly time frame, like so, that's a January high, I think, or December high.
There you go.
December high. December high is 25 3
December.
570 and February high is 23 440.
The highs or the lows? Because I'm on January here on NQ, right? This is the January candle here.
Uh-huh. No. 2025 January, I mean.
Oh, so yeah, you're really higher time frame.
No, I'm just checking with the higher time frame levels, what whether we are getting any higher time
Okay.
frame. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not used to looking at NQ. First of all, I'm just getting back into futures. I haven't traded futures in just over a year, so slowly getting back into it. So I'm going to get back to my assessment of my 10 tickers.
Yeah.
And share that.
Go
And once the market opens, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about higher time frames and your
Yeah,
predictions on NQ and ES.
of course.
Okay. So Friday, March 27th, again, I couldn't be here yesterday. So when I talk about what worked yesterday, it'll be actually what I was talking about during the session on Wednesday. We talked about an Apple, Meta, and SPY. All three of them, the KT short worked on SPY. It worked incredibly well. It was a little bit early for me to get in. However, on options, it was an absolutely incredible move. And I missed it, but I'll get the next one. So as far as things to know before the open, there's not much. As far as the economic calendar, there's not much. The Investopedia 5 things to know before the open. They're talking about stock futures falling as major indexes look to break the 4-week skids. Trump yesterday was talking about the fact that they're extending the deadline with Iran. Who knows what information is real or not. That's part of the reason there's been these massive spikes and liquidity sweeps in futures, which make trading difficult. A lot of people online are talking about the fact that the market, the way it's reacting right now, is very similar to COVID times. So if you're having difficulty, it's okay to take a step back, possibly just stay in sim. That's what I'm doing as far as the top step is concerned, and following your rules. This is not incredibly pertinent. This was very interesting. I've been following this for a long time. SpaceX IPO could come as soon as June. Rumor has it that SpaceX, which is also includes now XAI and X, the social media platform. They're looking at an IPO in sometime in June. Rumor has it they're filing paperwork this week or next week, and I think I read just over a $1 trillion IPO. So it'll be very interesting to follow. As far as me being an investor, I'm very interested in this. I'm not interested in jumping in on IPO day. But I do have a strategy to look at interesting IPOs like this. Obviously, when I talk investing, I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Unity stock, U is up. I don't know what it's up right now, but on news, it's up 16.9%. And that's about all I've got for right now. I'm going to look at my higher time frame. Higher time frame, still not as high as the monthly, like Sujit was looking at. I am looking at the 30-minute. I'm going to draw some levels on there, and we'll go from there. So Apple, let's look at the 30-minute. Let's see where price is. I already have the, this is from Wednesday. I'll readdress this and how this trade worked out beautifully well on Wednesday. But let's look at the higher time frame. So basically what I'm looking at here is where price is and where there's room to the left. Below the low of pre-market, we found support there yesterday at the end of the day. This was the massive spike and it's on every stock, especially on futures. Massive spike when apparently Trump said something about extending a deadline. Just took out a lot of stops. If people were short over here, took out a lot of liquidity and then just came right back down. So as far as I'm concerned, this will go for many of the tickers. I want to see what will happen at this level. Let's draw a rectangle here. So I'm curious to see what happens in here. So this is where I'm looking. This is where there's room to the left. Above price, no room to the left. I mean, the market has been here. It would be a choppy mess all up in here. But below is the possibility of liquidity sweep for a possible run up or a breakdown below this level, and then the retest for lower levels. And lower levels, I would have this. H, I would have this as an interesting level because it was support yesterday. Came right down here, was resistance over here, was support in this area. This is only on the 30-minute time frame. We have a 30-minute fair value gap here that was not closed, even though we dipped into it. So in this area over here, I'd be curious to see, do we dip down and then start buying, or do we break down, retest, and move lower? And this would be the initial target. Like I said, it's going to be similar on pretty much everything. So AMD below price. So below, it's at S3 right now in a lower range, not necessarily a buying indicator. However, this is a very interesting level, right? It was a double bottom over here. That was on Tuesday. I don't remember. I think I might have taken this trade. I don't remember if I talked about it. But this on a higher time frame, this is a nice double bottom. Came from a higher position, made a bottom, then made another bottom, and then right after that double bottom, a lot of buying. Very strong, bullish 30-minute candle, and then boom, off it goes. On a smaller, during pre-market, it seems to be putting a similar double bottom right now, but I don't like trading pre-market when it comes to equities. Futures are a different story. Again, what I'm looking at is the possibility of price getting below this area. There's strong or possible strong support at 200. It's also a psychological level, so I'll be looking to see what AMD does over here. Amazon. Same thing, below where price is. I've got this higher time frame rectangle over here that was support, but now is chopping around in this area. We've closed a candle or two below this area, but right where price is, below where price is right now, is an interesting area also on Amazon. So it just means that I'll be looking at what price does, what the price action does after the open. Google, excuse me. Google is definitely in a downtrend, shorter term downtrend. If I say shorter term, if I go to the weekly, yeah, we're approaching a level of possible support over here. It was support in this area. I could always put a higher time frame rectangle over here. Right in this area here could absolutely be support. So it'll be interesting to see what price does over here. Is it just a pullback, or are we making our way down to this area? Right, let me just remove this. It's no longer needed. There we go. At a certain point, I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing some buying coming back in. I'm not going to try to catch the bottom, though. I'm going to see what price action does on a 5-minute time frame during the trading hours. Meta, 30 minutes. Massive move down. This was on news yesterday. Did Google do the same thing? I wasn't trading, but I was following the news. Not as much on Google yesterday, but there was news, court action on Meta and Google. There we go. So after this massive downturn here, where do we try to find support? Buyers are eventually going to step back in here, right? Eventually, it's not a call out. I just don't know where, don't know when. So for me right now, not really interested in Meta. It found a little bit of a bottom here and then pulled back and then is moving down again. So you'd have to see a lot of volume and a lot of buying to try to go long on Meta right here. And I wouldn't try to short it because it's already down so much. It can continue to go down, but for my trading, unless it came back and retested this area over here and put in a wick and started selling and the liquidity sweep up here, then I would consider it as a possible short. 1 minute till the open. For those of you who trade the open, good luck. I'll continue with this 30-minute time frame. We're good. Microsoft also has been going down. We have not found a bottom yet. It is at S4 right now. So for cam traders, this is an interesting area. it could wick down, but I mean, after all this selling, I am not feeling confident in buying this yet. I would have to put in a bullish daily candle for me to really start looking at trying to go long on this. Or if it put in a really nice double bottom with a lot of volume on the buy side, it might be a possibility. NVIDIA. What's NVIDIA doing? I was not looking at NVIDIA yesterday. NVIDIA, nice move down, and then 50% retracement. Right? If we look at the fibs here, the initial move down happened here, went all the way here. Look at how it touched the 50, chopped around, and then lost again. So the 50% retracement is an incredible tool. Market is open for those of you trading right now. Good luck. Tesla. Here we go. Let's go back to 30. Tesla's getting back into this range over here. Will it close this gap over here? I don't know, but it could. There's a lot of missed buyers from this massive candle right here. This was the Monday, the 7 a.m. tweet on Monday. So are we coming back to close this gap over here? Would be a massive double bottom if we started buying from here. Again, I am looking at what price does under where it is right now. That's the only place where there's room to the left. Qs. Again, a massive jump yesterday. We have closed that gap from Monday, ended up being closed yesterday. Have we found support yet? I don't know. I'd like to see what it does below price right here. If it chopped around, came in and put in a double bottom at S4, that would be my one indicator to go long. Or if it put in a KT down here and the possibility for going for taking a long. As far as a short is concerned, there's no room to the left. Right? And where does it need to go to have room to the left? I don't know. So I don't see an entry short here yet. What was it, 575? Yeah. And SPY, very similar price action. So we are dumping right now on everything. So let's look at my 10 tickers over here. I just see a lot of selling on, except for on Meta here. There's a lot of selling, but be careful because the initial move can often be a fake move. So do we come down here and find a lot of buyers below pre-market low? That's what I want to see. Any questions, comments, please don't hesitate. I will share in the next few minutes. I'll share what worked and what didn't work during my session on Wednesday. And if anybody wants to jump in here with your analysis or your ideas of what you're seeing or what you're looking for longer term, please don't hesitate. Interesting liquidity sweep, possible liquidity sweep candle on Apple. Right, moved up, Another 30 seconds before this candle closes. Tesla, where was that? Make this a little bit higher. Rectangle, put that here. That's an interesting area on Tesla. We might find some buyers in this area. Obviously it's not a call out. It's just, it could be an interesting higher time frame level at 358.50 as well. Curious to see the book on Tesla. 10,000 shares at 364. Most of the market is red right now. AMD in an incredibly tight range. All the levels, most of the levels. Why didn't DOS ever incorporate Control Z as undo? So 1, 2, 3, yeah, that's what, yesterday's high? Yeah, yesterday's high, pre-market high, PDC, yesterday's low, and pre-market low. So all these levels are really tight in this area. If we break out above the 206, it'd be very interesting for long. If we liquidity sweep to 200 and find a lot of buyers on AMD, if it puts in my my entry signal, it could be a long. However, a lot of levels above, right? With PDC, pre-market high, yesterday's low, these are all possible resistance if you're planning on going long. Meta's interesting, but where do you put their level on Meta? Whoops, let's bring this over here. All right, you have to look at the higher time frame here. Okay, 1 hour, 4 hour, no, daily. Okay, so you got to go to the daily, and the last time we were over here was in April. So this was the same in the entire market. This was all the tariff talk in April 2025. Is the last time that Meta was there. There is still a daily leveled over here. Let's put my rectangle right around this area here, right up to this fair value gap here. So this is a very higher time frame level here. We could start finding some buyers, but if we don't, this thing can keep going. All right, there might be a little bit of a level here. And then we're looking at the below 500. So interesting price action on everything, but on Meta right now. It's in a lot of these levels here. So
Good morning, Gilles.
good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Just a little bit late to the start here, so I'm just kind of getting acclimated.
Yeah.
Hey, one ticker that's moving counter in the market is CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yeah.
They had earnings, I think, this morning. So that's one ticker that's moving up in the green.
Yeah. That's I'm not going to be trading Meta, so I'll put it here. CCL.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did have earnings this morning. Wow. They're not announced on TradingView yet.
If a pattern develops for me, kind of like the pattern that I usually like to see, could potentially target yesterday's high right around 25.90.
Yep.
25.88. That could be a potential target. 26.36 would be the next target, which would be the high from the 25th. Its ATR is about $1.32 right now. We're at -15, so it's got some room to go. So
Yeah.
it could get to that 26.35 number, potentially, depending on what the market does today. We'll see.
Yeah, it's I was saying just before the market opened that honestly I haven't seen a market this, you know what, while I say that, I'll go over here maybe on a higher time frame on the 4-hour. On a 4-hour time frame, this is definitely interesting here on SPY, but yeah, we don't see it on here. On the 5-minute, we absolutely see it in SPY. These massive wicks, like these incredible wicks on SPY, on Qs, on NQ, on ES, make it very, very difficult to trade. Like this was on news yesterday, supposedly, news that not a ceasefire, but an extension of U.S. threat or whatever you want to call it on Iran. So this was in 5 minutes, like an incredible move, but zero follow through. And oddly enough, there's a massive on ES. There's a on MES. So if you look at the volume from yesterday, from when this happened, I know it's 4 o'clock or right before 4 o'clock, but there's a lot of volume right before. Right, so this was at 3:58. I realized that right before the market closed, there's a lot of volume. So I don't know, just I thought this was odd, and then all of a sudden, just an incredible spike. So anyway, the reason I'm saying that is that I'm not trusting anything right now. Don't have to trade, don't have to get into positions. If I do, it's often smaller size, because I don't trust much right now. I'm going to leave CCL over here. It'll be interesting to watch. With positive earnings, if they were positive, you would expect buying to come in. I mean, there's right now, there's not that much going on. Might be a pullback. Curious to see what the fibs look like on this. Oops. So the earnings were probably during this candle. So the move up started from here and then came over here. If we retrace to S6 over here, or the 2470 area, it might be interesting. Or did the move start right here? And this is a 50. That's the thing with fibs. It's sometimes, especially with earnings, very difficult to figure out where to start them. Right? What my rule is that it's got to be an impulse move. Right? If I look at SPY, right, something where something changed, like right over here, we were chopping and then put in. Let's draw them over here just to see what they did. They were chopping and then we put in this really big red candle. So sentiment changed there, but then we started buying here, right there. Right? We wicked down, we started buying. What did it do? Went back to the 50, to the couple pennies, put in a bearish candle here, even though it's green, and then a very bearish candle right here with no body. Short, right there. Stop above the wick. 3R right there. Short there, 3R target right there. Or if you're feeling confident that we're going lower, right there. What is it? 10R. Not saying that those are easy to catch, especially not on SPY and Qs lately, but that's how I used to use the fibs, and now it's just eyeballing 50%. But I'm getting way back into using the fibs, especially after Amal's seminar or webinar a couple weeks ago. Love his strategy. And as far as futures are concerned, they seem to work incredibly well. Like I said, as far as economic calendar, they didn't seem to be a lot of anything of importance at 10 o'clock. However, this is similar price action that we see when we are expecting news. Right? It's very tight, low RVol on SPY, low-ish RVol. I like it to be above 80. On pretty much everything else, it's decent. Tesla, for me to think that it's going to go long, it needs to sweep. It needs to come down. Right? These two wicks over here, as far as I'm concerned, they're not enough. However, two bottoms, a very quick double bottom here. If you go on the 1 minute time frame, it might be, a nice double bottom setup. Just not for me. Pretty much everything is still below PDC. Very interesting consolidation on AMD here. Right? The more we build up over here, we could see a pop, actually in either direction. But if we saw a pop over here, I'd like to see the retrace for the break and retest.
Yeah, I didn't get into the CCL trade. I just didn't like I didn't like the this candle, this sort of hammer 5 minute that closed above the VWAP, but there's too much risk there. So I wanted that candle to be a little bit smaller in size. And because I like the volume profile, we've got declining selling volume so far. And I want like a better entry so that I can increase my share size by having a tight risk. So that's why I haven't chose to enter yet, but I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here. We're sort of in the golden retracement zone right now.
Yeah, this retracement right here is very interesting. I personally, the way I trade, I want to see what it does here. If it closes below the 61.8, I'm not interested. But it just touching it, but now let's put in a 2 minute fair value gap lower. Personally, I don't like it as long anymore. You'd have to see a lot of buying coming in. But it's just dipping there. What does a 1 minute look like? You'd have to see a lot of buying coming in.
I mean, I kind of like it so far because this current 5 minute candle, the body's really big, but look at the volume. The volume is declining so far. We got about another minute and a half left for the candle to close. So I really like it, but what I want to see after this 5 minute is I want to see a green print and ideally an inverted hammer. If we get like tweezer bottoms, boom, I'm in. But I want to see a green candle print, but I want it to
When you say a green candle, Evo, do you mean what time frame?
On a 5 minute chart. I want to see some, because look at this candle, it's massive in body, but the volume is like half of the first 5 minute red candle. So I want to wait for another green 5 minute candle to print, but ideally I want it kind of tight. If it's a big hammer with a lot of wick on the bottom, I won't enter in because there's it'll decrease my share size. There'll be too much risk.
Yeah. Where would you put your stop? Would you?
If we get another green candle print that's ideal for me, it would be the low of that green candle. I
Oh,
mean, sort of it depends.
yeah.
But
Oh, thanks for sharing.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, another 6 or 7 seconds. I mean, it's hard to go long, and I'm not trying to this according to my strategy, hard to go long after a massive red candle like this, right?
But again, look at the volume. It's less
Yeah.
than the candle before. That for me, that doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
who knows? It may completely break down. I don't know. But I'm looking for a green candle now in the 5 minute.
Yeah. Oh,
And if I find it, I may get in.
good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll leave it on screen here. Let's go like this.
But it is kind of a steeper retracement. We almost retraced back to the 78.6 level, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But
The other
This
thing
is
that
risky.
I would look at with my strategy if it was on something else, if it took its time to get back down, actually put it back on screen. It didn't happen too fast. If it stair stepped its way down over here, right, a little bit later, then I would consider that a double bottom, right? Even though this wick I don't really pay that much attention to because it is the earnings, it's the announcement, right? It's the announcement candle. Once the market opened, this is where we found buyers and we put in a pretty strong bullish candle. So if we were to come back down here, it would be a double bottom pattern for me. However, I personally probably still wouldn't take it long because it is below S6. Right? But taking it long above S6, it's higher probability. Right. Yeah, above 2480 here will be an interesting area. So anybody have questions or comments or anything you're looking at, please don't hesitate. Curious to see where spying cues are at as far as cam levels are concerned. Because it is on the 5-minute time frame, putting in a bit of a double bottom. I like to have at least 3 5-minute candles in between both bottoms. And I don't like that this is a massive red candle. So if the second bottom happened right now, I'd be very hesitant. Low of day 567.90 on cues. Cues making new lows. Tesla, where are the long-term buyers? Where are they going to get involved? Maybe at the 358.50 level. And a lot of red.
Yeah, CCL printed another red candle here with increased volume. So it closed above the 78.6% fib, but not yet.
As far as my strategies are concerned, this 5-minute candle here is very close to being a kangaroo tail short. It wicked above a level, the level being PDC. Took out liquidity. There was room to the left right up until aftermarket yesterday. It opened this morning, or actually that's the open candle right there. So room to the left, close at or very near the bottom. The body of the candle is within the range of the previous candle. Short at the bottom here, aggressive stop just above PDC, conservative stop above the wick for the 3R move down here. That is one of my preferred trades. I don't like that we were there in aftermarket hours here and that we were there yesterday. So it's not really a big liquidity sweep. And you know, I'm just explaining that's one of my short indicators. It could be finding support here.
So far, we've got a, and for the time being, I was going to say a higher low, but it's hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
Our lowest, it's actually, it's puncturing through 24.53. So
Curious to see what the book looks like. A little bit heavier on the bid. Now, I don't know what their results were. Not that it matters, because I mean, you can have incredibly positive results and we sell. Earnings and revenue, the estimate. They don't have the on TradingView. They don't have the results. I could go look for them, but interesting pattern on right, the breakdown, the retest. The same thing on the Qs, same thing on the SPY. Right, we're breaking down below the low, retesting, continuation. Breaking down below the low of pre-market, retesting, continuation. Amazon breaking down, not retesting. All right, so zero entry possibility over here. Here's that breakdown in AMD. All right, we're consolidating over here, and then a bit of a breakdown. If it came back to the 217, that is something I would be curious to take. Short. All right, so I'm going to set an alert. I want it to be above. I can't see the number here, so I will have to go into. Oh my, got a lot of alerts in here. And delete. There you go. I just meant I'm going to have to go into the actual alert, and I want it to be above 200. Actually, above 199. 90, let's say. That's where I'm going to start looking at it. Will it start having difficulty with 200 again? Alert set. Okay, so if we retrace, so there's the breakdown on AMD. If we come back and retest that 200 level, I'd like it to actually punch through the 200 and then put in a bearish candle to possibly continue the move down to my other level over here. Actually, there'd probably be another one over here. Yeah, be looking at that first. Yeah. And if it doesn't retest, it doesn't retest. Right? If it ends up closing that gap and going all the way down there to support, then I would be less interested in taking the short because my target's been removed, if that makes sense. Okay, first half hour has been put in. Not seeing big selling or buying candles. Definitely no buying. What is Oxy? I just got an alert that they're 52-week high. Of course. There we go. So Oxy at a 52-week high. Personally, I would not want to buy into this because it's news driven. If a deal is struck, if something happens that oil prices start coming down, then this will likely retrace to wrong hotkey to this area. Actually, I don't like that. Yeah, as far as charting is concerned, I meant to put a rectangle in this area here, the 57 area here. Go back to Meta, back to the 5-minute time frame. Dow entering correction territory is what the alert just said. So Meta being below all these levels here. But I said I didn't like the idea of shorting it because it's come down so much. It can continue, but for me, it could absolutely find support at a certain point. A lot of wicks to the top on Apple. Actually, 10 o'clock. I need to step away for 2 minutes. Be right back. Okay, what did I miss? Nothing. All right, I said I would go back to discuss the trades on Wednesday that I was looking at. I was not there yesterday, but let's go back to Wednesday and put this in here. So I'm usually on the 5-minute time frame. These were, if you were there with us on Wednesday, as this was happening, I was saying that this was a possible short setup. I did not take it. It happened pretty early in the session. The stop over here, you're going to see that the wicks are really high, but when you zoom in, all right, where are we? There we go. When you zoom in, actually, where is that stop? Is it on the 1 minute? Come on. That's one thing I don't like about trading.
Above alert.
That's my retracement on AMD. So I'm going to pause this and look at price action on AMD. Actually, let's look at it on TradingView. Shorter time frame. It did put in a 2-minute fair value gap here. So that was the breakdown. This is the retest or possible retest. It's at a level. At this point, I want to see, do we see selling? Do we see, these were a couple bearish, or sorry, bullish candles. Do we actually see selling? So that's what I'm looking at on AMD. On the 5-minute time frame, it's putting in a little bit of a rejection candle. This was just a level that I put in there. So that's the break. That's the retest on the 1-minute time frame. If it closes 236. There you go. So what I'm looking at, if it closes, oh, I'm going to miss the entry. There you go. So I went short as the breakdown, the retest here. Stop is above the 200 and what was it, 265. And the target is at 195. This is on my smaller size, but this is the pattern. Breakdown, it's retesting on the 1-minute time frame. It put in a bearish candle and then broke the low of that bearish candle. So that was my thinking on AMD. Stop above the wick of the 5-minute candle. I know it's hard to see here. Stop. I actually put my stop right at a pre-market low here. And another 1.5 minutes before the 5-minute closes. And now, whether it works or it doesn't work is out of my hands. And to be honest, I don't want to say I don't care. But honestly, it doesn't matter.
See how it just keeps going down. I keep looking like, oh, it looks like there's a higher low in formation, a little bit green, and then hammered. But we're coming down to this 24.30 mark. Also, the $24 mark is a significant level. It touched it pre-market, so this would just be a full-on, like a potential double bottom reversal here.
Yeah.
Rather than my usual setup, but I'm just still kind of looking at it and seeing. I'm also looking at Palantir, the inverse of Palantir, PLTZ, for possible continuation here. But that's it.
PLTV?
PLTZ is in Z.
As in Zulu. PLTZ. There you go.
because I like what I see in the volume bars. And again, this is all 5-minute candles, and it looks like selling volume is drying up, but now we have to wait for another green 5-minute candle print if it wants to go up. It has still room to the ATR to go up, but it's already kind of chewed up a bit of it. Yeah, there's really nothing on my end. How about on your end, Joe?
I was just looking at that AMD breakdown and retest. I don't like that it's coming back up now, and now it's starting to look like a cup and handle on the 1 minute over here. But my stop is above S3 here, above this candle here. What's that high? The high is 46. My stop is at 65.
Fingers crossed. Then you just
Yeah,
let it
and
go.
like I said, once you enter, it's 1 hour. You know, I am saying I'm willing to spend 1 hour to figure out whether it's going to go down to this level over here, right? And if you make 3R or more on winners and lose only 1 R on losers, you can be right, 40% of the time, and you're still going to be profitable. Right. So one trade at a time. That's what I'm having difficulty with the combine. I'm couple things. I don't know if you know that I started a Top Step combine. I'm getting back into futures. I'm thinking that 2026 is going to be mainly futures. So getting back into it, and then there's a couple of things that I hadn't taken into consideration. First of all, was trading and being live while I'm doing it. The psychology is playing a little bit on me. And then secondly is that with something like that, with prop firms, the law of large numbers that I'm talking about, everything seems to be going green now. So I'm probably going to be stopped out here. And anyway, the law of large numbers, that if you take 50 trades and you win 50% of the trades, your winners are +3, your losers are -1, you're going to be profitable.
Yeah.
But in a prop firm, it's harder to do that, especially with a combine, because you have a limited amount of time. You have a drawdown that follows you up. If you're down 3, 4, 5 trades, in my live trading, it's no big deal being down 5R, because 2 positive trades, I'm back above break even. Right. So if you're -5 and you have 2 winners at +3 each, you're +6, or you're green, you're +1R after 7 trades. But in the combine, you can't really do that. So I'm being very patient, and I'm going to be incredibly choosy on what it is that I get involved in. I'm going to stay away from incredibly choppy conditions like what we've seen this week, because there's news, there's global conflict that has a massive impact on the futures markets. Right. So I would stay away from CL as well, because oil is incredibly volatile. You get one tweet and it can spike, dollars. And in oil, that's really it's very highly leveraged. So anyway, that's my thinking on AMD here. I saw the break, the retest. I got in on the 1 minute, on a 1 minute bearish candle. Right, I got in right here. Right, went short 199.46 area. Right, with my stop right above. Did I? No, I wasn't taken out. What's the high of this candle? 64. My stop's at 65.
I like what I'm seeing on CCL.
You're really bullish on that today, eh?
Yeah. We've got a higher low on the 5-minute chart. We pegged the session low at 24.30. I was watching the tape. It's been holding.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to go too much now, but I'm within maybe 30 seconds of getting in. But now we're getting this big engulfing candle.
Yeah.
I don't prefer that because now I got to decrease my share size quite a bit.
24.55. If it breaks that and makes a new higher high, as it just did.
Dang, it's so big. Let's see.
Yeah.
So it's 500 shares.
$24.58 was put in. Yeah, we're seeing some buying coming in here. I don't fully trust it. It's probably just going to be enough to take me out of my AMD trade. CCL above 60 would be very interesting. There it goes.
Yeah, I entered long at 24.52.
Oh, good luck.
And I put my risk pretty tight. I put it at 24.34, 1 penny below the low of that engulfing pattern. And for me to get 3R, it really needs to get to about 25.08.
To get to how many are?
It'll for me to get to 3R, it's going to have
3R.
to get to about 25.08. So quite a significant retracement here.
Yeah.
May I share my screen?
Yeah, no, I don't mind. By the way, Rachel, I don't know if you're listening, but I love that picture. It reminds me of a beach that I was at pretty much right around this time last year in Australia. If it is, let me know.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, I got in at the close of this candle, maybe a few seconds afterwards, and I got in right around here, 24.52. I put my stop below the engulfing pattern. And pardon me, we had a touchdown of the session low here. And for me to get to 3R, it's got to more or less get up to about 25.08. So we'll see, but I like targeting these simple moving average levels. They tend to attract. So my 3R target is below this. So I'm definitely going to hold for 3R, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing. Whoops.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I definitely like this. Usually I don't get in on engulfing patterns. I'd rather have a inverted hammer, because then I can just load the boat with more share size and I can get to my 3, 5, 8R much more quicker, versus when it's bigger like this, there's just more coverage I got to get up, right? But even still, with this, there's still a lot of room to the upside, especially if the market decides to change its course. We'll see. But this will be my one trade of the day. It works, or if it doesn't, I'm done.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing. AMD. AMD just took me out, by the way, just at 65 to the penny, and watch it come down now. Right to the penny. I kind of wish that it goes up from now, just so that I can say that at least I was stopped out at the right point and it continued up. A little bit of a tight. It was right at a pre-market low. But like I said, it's okay. My size is I'm comfortable with. My -1R is fine. I'm still green on the week. With 10 minutes left, I'm unlikely to do anything else. Zooming in on the 1 minute is often it reduces your chances of being successful, because I went in right at the bottom of this candle here. Right? But you can put your RVR much tighter. Right? That's the idea. The fact that it had not, I mean, the level was this level here. The level was 70. 270 was pre-market low. Was it right here? Yeah, 270. It did not make it back to that level yet when I entered here. So, and it still has not. So if it were to pop up, take out liquidity over here and then put in a new low, I might think about re-entering, because that's the setup that I see that I like best right now. Similar setups on Qs and SPY coming up. Just want to see something on AMD. All right, I've re-entered AMD here. Stop at 225. And if that one doesn't work, then I'm definitely done for the week. And I did it again on a shorter time frame, on the 1 minute. So doesn't look good. Ending the week on a Friday, I said I wouldn't take trades with 2R in the red. Would not be ideal. But like I've said before, if I see the pattern happening, I take it. If I take it twice, I do not take it a third time. So that's just a rule. Um, Usually I allow myself 3 losing trades because one winner covers those 3 losing trades. But on a day like today, I'm leaving for an event at 11, so I'd be done for the day, and I'll come back on Monday. It's probably going to sweep up, take me out, and then possibly continue to move down. Like it to go down below 199.40 here. So if that happens, we could see a flush. Your CCL, I don't remember what you said your stop was, but unfortunately, it's starting to retrace down.
Yeah, I'm still holding, but it looks like I'm going to get stopped out.
We lose 50 on AMD, like we just did. I'll consider myself lucky. If it puts in a red candle and then breaks the low of that red candle, then I might think of bringing my stop back to break even. Right now, that's one, what did I get in on? Yeah, close to 1 R. Low is 88. All right, moving my stop back to break even.
Yeah, I got taken out of the CCL, and of course, just
Yeah.
before that, I got a glass of water, and instead of going in my mouth, it went on my desk.
Ah,
So I was doing a little mop up operation there, but yeah, my automatic hard stop was in place. I took it, so I'm done for the day. I'm minus 0.9 R, so that's an ideal loss for a day.
yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate that I mean, if it's your trade book to go along there and it didn't work out, then that's like I always say, it took me a long time to figure it out, but once you're in a trade, there's nothing you can do. You can manage, right? Like what I've got right now is I've moved my stop to break even on my short Nvidia trade, or sorry, AMD trade. That's the only thing I can manage, right? And my take profit is at 3R, right? It's just pretty much at low of day, but we seem like we're possibly buying again. But that's all you can do. And having fixed risk, Evo, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but having, just 1R to risk is a game changer, right? If people can stick to that, then that's fantastic, right? Even me moving my stop over here to break even, it might be a little bit premature. I figured we printed a 5-minute candle. We have not necessarily, but you know what? I'm already down 1R. It is Friday. I'm green on the week. Do I want to be down 2R? Not really. So if this comes out to stop me out, I'm okay with that. But that's all we can do. Right? That's all. Yeah. So
you just have to put it on and let it go. But if you can kind of manage it and potentially store up your risk by moving your stop, and it all depends, right, on your emotional level. Like, oh, I've had a green week and I don't want to be down 2R today.
Yeah.
Or if it gets to a certain level, like I'll show you what I was thinking on my trade with respect to moving up my my R would be
are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, let me see. I want to share hang on one second. I need to Okay, I'll just share this window.
Oh, there I am.
Hang on a sec. Let me try this again. There we go. So my thinking was, when I saw this, I entered, which is kind of my protocol. I see a potential reversal. I got in right around here. And
when you say here, can you move your mouse? I don't know where to look.
Sure thing. So I got in on this candle right around 24.53, call it right about this level after the close of this candle. And so we were talking about shoring up your risk. So my risk was the low of this candle minus about a penny, 24.34. Ideally, if this thing go up to about 24.90, which would be about 2R for me, for sure, this puppy would be raised to a little bit above break even to allow for slippage. That way it's a risk off trade. But it would have to have gotten to this fib level, which is a potential reversal level, actually.
Yeah.
So even though I was targeting 3R, which would be way up here, I also had in the back of my mind, well, given the market, we could see a potential shorting opportunity at this 50% fib level. I may want to be happy with 2R. Normally, I don't aim for 2R, but that was the idea, that if it went up to about 2R, I would definitely shore up my stop, bring it to a little bit above break even, and then just kind of assess from there. That's great when you can do that.
Is that a 5-minute time frame?
Yeah, 5-minute time frame.
Do you have somewhere I see that you have some moving averages there. Do you have it somewhere in your rules that it's okay to take a short below a certain moving average, or sorry, a long below a certain moving average?
Yeah, I prefer it, actually.
Yeah. So you wanted to make it back to that moving average.
Yeah, because I find that they're magnetic. They'll usually
Yeah.
pull. Price will want to go back there usually. And it depends if the price action is above the simple moving averages. I really like to look at the 200, and this is the 50, and I do have VWAP on my chart.
Yeah.
That could be a potential long, but it depends. If you got the moving averages and you have a potential long opportunity, but there's a resistance level just a short distance away, that's not what I like to see. I want to have a gap that it can travel and go up. Yeah, that's just kind of my thinking and process with regards to placing my original stop and then like you moving it up. But see, for me, it didn't go up quite enough, but I was like, oh, I hope it'll kind of get up around here, then I can move it up, and then it's a risk-free trade. Didn't happen.
Yeah. There's so many different strategies and tools, and there are a lot of things that that work. And that's why I love people sharing in here or asking questions and sharing their strategies. And Sujit is of a very higher time frame trader, and Amal uses the fibs and only on NQ and ES. Yeah, there are so many different things that work, and there are things that don't work for me. Right. So I try not to have too much on my chart. I try not to move my stop too much. Had this, the second trade I took, had it been my first trade, I would not be moving my stop to break even so early. That's the psychology of it. The fact that it's Friday, the fact that I'm down 1 hour, I don't want to be down 2. So you know what? I'm already in the green, so I'm going to leave it. So there's so many different moving parts, and you have to make it your own. So I love the fact that you said, no, you prefer it, taking along below the moving averages, right? That's not everybody. A lot of people would say, no, you're not going to take along below, but you're right in saying that they're often magnetic. So why not take along, and right?
And at least what I find, that's where I can get my greatest R. When you're kind of a contrarian, when you're going against the mass psychology of the market.
Yeah.
And I used to be a breakout trader all the time, and I'll take breakouts, but again, only if there's room to the upside. If I see that there's an important level nearby, should go short instead,
Yeah.
But that's just for me, just trying to change the way I think.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate you sharing it, and I appreciate you coming in on the mic and with the camera and everything. It's great. So no, I'm enjoying these sessions. And oh, there's my AMD alert. I wanted to know. See, I'll just finish by explaining my thinking over here. So I went short here. My target is around 197.50, but this is the low of day here. So if we were to put in my pattern for going long on a double bottom, then I would get out of this position. Right. So if I see the reversal pattern, right now I'm short, but we're coming close to the low of day. If it were to wick down here and then start putting in new highs, that's my signal to go long, and I'm already short. So I would probably get out at the high of this candle, 199.12, because it's showing the. Oh, I paused it. It's showing a reversal pattern as far as my trade book is concerned. But for the time being, I'm leaving my my take profit. It has not gone below the low of day, I don't think. Low of day is 78. So hang on a second. The low of day is 198, and it has gone below the low of day. So I want to see how this candle is going to close here. I mean, my 3R, 85, it's just below the low day. So I want to see what happens with this candle here. If we make a new low, then I'm leaving my my stop where it is. 7. But if we make a new high above, actually, I'm going to bring in my, I'm bringing in my stop to the high of this candle, 199. Or just above 199. I don't like 199 because we might touch it, and then, yeah, 199.04. So if it makes a new high here, why do I have different candles? The high is 199.12. Ah, that's why. There you go. So my stop is right above this candle now. And my take profit is just below the low of day for 3R. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll share this trade and the results of this trade on Monday. And I need to head out there 10 minutes after 10:30. I got to head out by 11. So out of the house and no longer looking at charts until I might have my iPad and look at charts. But anyway, hopefully this conversation with Ivo and Sujit before the market open, hopefully it's been beneficial. If you have questions, comments, please don't hesitate. I put something in the Discord about a futures seminar I'm planning. If there's interest, if people want to learn about futures and my path getting back into it, why I got out, and why I'm getting away from options and stuff. So it's going to be about a 1-hour webinar, and I'm going to share the tool that I've developed as well for position sizing and for fixed risk and everything. So if you're interested in that, just give it a thumbs up, and I just want to see. Right now I think there's 20 people that said that they're interested, so I'll likely be offering that in the next couple weeks. Okay, so I'll be back on Monday. Those of you who are playing poker later on, have fun. I would love to be able to join you guys, but I can't today. But hopefully next Friday I'll be in there. Okay, see you all on Monday. Thanks, Ivo.
Take it easy. Thank
All
you,
right.
Gilles. As always, you're awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. See ya.
Have a great weekend all. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye everyone.